On the line, I have the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Can't wait to see you guys.
I can't either. You are a best-selling author and actor, voiceover artist, color commentator, professional wrestler, advocate, comedian. Am I missing anything here?
I don't want to talk. No, never mind. I try not to talk about those days. But never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead with your line of questioning. I was about to go someplace we didn't need to go.
You are a busy guy, is what I'm getting to there. You started out in wrestling. Let's talk a little bit about your wrestling career. You're probably one of the most exciting, controversial characters ever in professional wrestling. Cactus Jack, Mankind, Dude Love, or Mick Foley. It really didn't matter who came to the ring. You knew each match was going to be something special. Now, what was it that made you go, I want to be a professional wrestler?
Well, I hoped it would be something special. I tried. I didn't always succeed, but I always tried. Now, we're talking about the show in Sioux City tonight, right?
Right.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I got the town right. Yeah, we are en route as we talk, going through beautiful, scenic Iowa en route to Sioux City, where I'll be at the Hard Rock Casino tonight at 8 p.m. I just want to make sure that I was talking about the wrong place. I get mixed up from time to time. Yeah, so we're en route now, but I loved it. I loved wrestling. I loved trying to take the fans on a little bit of a journey, and in some ways that's like what I try to do when I have the microphone in hand, try to make them go through those same type of feelings they had when I was in the ring.
Very cool. Now, you've wrestled all over the world. You have a favorite place that you like to wrestle?
Besides Sioux City? Actually, Sioux City was my first match back in WCW in 1991, and I remember I was wrestling Larry Santo, and I was a very different wrestler than I was when I left that company like 16 or 17 months earlier, and I remember like dropping the big elbow. I'd come off the ring apron out of the concrete floor with an elbow, and I remember Jim Ross saying, Larry Santo has a family, and Cactus Jack doesn't care. It was just great, great dramatic action. So yeah, that was like a big night for me. You recall some of the cities, some of you don't recall at all, but you always remember milestone events like that.
Very cool. What hurt worse, Hell in the Cell or losing the ear?
Oh well, yeah. Oh man, well the ear was just it was a relief once I finally got out of the bind I was in. It was a relief to get out. I didn't know at the time. My ear didn't make it with me. Whereas the cell was more of a sustained, sustained event. That we had to try to get through and pick up the pieces when I was knocked out in June of '98, and I might be persuaded if someone has a question during the Q&A, that's part of the fun. They can ask me about specific matches. And I know we don't have too much time here, so I can't go into great detail of the luxury of time tonight. But there's definitely some fun to be found in that cell match in the unlikeliest of places.
Oh, I remember seeing that live, and that just blew me away. I've never seen anything to this day like it ever.
Well, it was really, really dramatic because, most of the people who come to the shows are wrestling fans, and we welcome non-fans. They end up having they have a much better time than they'd expect. But the one irony is that while most wrestling fans there have been teased or kidded at least a time or two for watching what people refer to as being the phony sport or the fake sport. It's also the only sport that continues when one of the participants is no longer conscious. And the truth is, it wouldn't be that way now. Like WWE has certainly, professional sports league, learned a lot about traumatic brain injuries. But that was the drama of the match. It's like, okay, we know this may not be a legitimate competition, but one of those guys is no longer conscious, and they're going to continue to have a match. They're finding a way to have a match, and that's where the drama of that historic night came from.
That was a crazy night. Now, what do you think of the current WWE universe right now?
Yeah, well, I love it. I'm a big fan. I've been on the road, so I missed the Elimination Chamber last night I was in Cedar Rapids, and luckily they had a couple of big screen TVs, so I was able to catch the last half of Raw during the meet and greet. Let me take this opportunity to point out there will be a post-show meet and greet at the Hard Rock tonight. I know some people had concern about the VIP tickets and whether or not they get to meet me. I said, no, everyone gets to meet me. The VIP tickets are just closer to the stage. But I think they're on a roll right now. I really do. I mean, the show kind of ebbs and flows, but I think they're on a roll. I love the NXT division. It's supposed to be like their developmental territory, but they steal the show a lot of times. They put on great shows of their own. Their women are tremendous, and so I think the state of the wrestling and WWE union is very strong.
It's looking good. I really enjoy the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Hideo Itami, and Finn Balor. I think those guys really are bringing a new element.
Yeah, and Owens showed you can kind of step into a main role in WWE and create excitement. That was, it was one of the things I'm driving along the roads with the great Tim Sullivan, who'll be opening up for me tonight. I never just say Tim Sullivan. He's always the great Tim Sullivan. Hilarious comic, really sets the stage for the shows. And I said, one of the things missing is that you don't get that element of surprise, like, wow, where'd this guy come from? But if you do it right, like WWE did with Kevin Owens, you do get that feeling like, all right, we know he was in NXT, but man, he just stepped up to the plate and hit it out of the park. And I think that's exciting to see. And I think it's really important that guys from NXT come up and be successful.
Absolutely. Now, another Facebook question I had here. Could you hear Jim Ross losing his mind on commentary after you went off the top of the cell?
No, I cannot hear JR losing his mind. God, but God is my witness, been broken in half. Yeah, I wasn't really concerned. There's the last thing on my mind. I wasn't even aware, because I had gone through the Spanish announce table.
Yeah.
I was just really, that was the farthest thing from my mind, but he really did add to that. I think if there wasn't a certain, and I don't think I'm being out of line here, there's a little bit of a cultural bias against wrestling. Like that, the sports world will never admit like that was the best call of all time. Like up there with, do you believe in miracles and the Giants win the pennant?
Sure.
Should be. With God as my witness, he's been broken in half. You don't look on that. The internet doesn't have like 1,000 different versions of "Do you believe in miracles?" It does have 1,000 different versions.
Right.
Somebody stopped the darn match. He's been broken in half. Yeah, it was classic.
It was. Something that surprised me to know about you is that you're a fan of Tori Amos.
Yes. Do you want to follow up with that, or
I do. I do. My wife's also a huge fan, turned me on as well. How did you get turned on to her music? And also, I know you work with her on a charity as well, right?
Yeah. I'll never, like I said, there's some moments you'll never forget. And I remember, like, being on a road trip with Max Payne, my tag team partner, and Nick Patrick. And Max had this old, I don't know, it was a Buick Electra, or a Cadillac, one of those old school cars that got about 4 miles to the gallon. And it was just loaded up with the best in, symphonic stereo equipment. And I was just being bombarded by, heavy metal, death metal, and for hours. And I finally said, Max, do you have something like a little mellower? He had this really deep voice. He was like, Jack, Cactus Jack, and thing. I have something I think you'll like. And he put on Little Earthquakes by Tori Amos, and I just never heard anything like it. I loved it. Like, if you can fall in love immediately at first listen, that's what happened to me. And then years later, when I got to meet her, she really made a big impact on me and has been a big inspiration, and got me involved in the charity organization that she co-founded called RAIN, which is the largest anti-sexual assault organization in the United States. So I became a donor, and I became an active volunteer, and I raise money every year. We do a WrestleMania raffle where this year we raised $106,000 in 2 weeks, and we send the winners on the vacation of a lifetime. But more importantly, we raise a lot of money and awareness for a cause that doesn't get talked about very often.
See, I think that's awesome. You do so much awareness for so many causes. Not only that, but I know you also do other things as well.
So yeah, we do. Yeah, a couple days ago, I was in Kansas City, and I saw this group of 3 women in yellow T-shirts that said Alex's Lemonade Stand. And I knew, I was like, don't do it. I was thinking, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then I found myself saying on live local news, I'll be donating all the proceeds from photo sales to Alex's Lemonade Stand. So we raised almost $1,000 that night. And tonight, I'm proud to say that we're donating 100% of the proceeds to the FPF, the Foley Pizza Fund, and there's some hungry kids in my family who need pizza, and it's going to go fund their appetite. That's
a fantastic cause as well. Now, what can people expect from the show tonight? You know, we're used to seeing you wrestle and, you know, do some awesome promos, but I hear we're going to do some comedy and other things.
Yeah, the best thing I'd say is expect to have expect to have a better time than you're counting on. WWE did air my Cheap Pop special on their network, and so people who saw that immediately went, wow, this is a really good show. Now, it's going to be 100% different than that. Tonight's show will be 100% different than the Cheap Pop special. But it's just comedy. It's a wrestling-centric storytelling show. It's hard to put that on a billboard. You know, it's easy to say comedy, and a lot of people are like, I like the guy. I don't want to hear him tell jokes. So
sure.
I don't tell jokes. I tell, stories. I have funny stories, but more importantly, like I said, I try to take people on give them the same type of feeling that I had when I was in the ring, like that they're starting somewhere, they're going on a journey, and the most important thing to me is that they end, the journey out the door with the biggest smile on their face possible.
I can't wait. One question from Facebook again: are you bringing Mr. Sacco?
I will have Saccos for sale as part of that. Sorry, I almost said the FART word. Not sure if that's legal in the state of Iowa.
It is.
Part of the Foley Pizza Fund, the fundraiser extravaganza.
Fantastic. Well, Mick, we can't wait. Show us tonight, Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and the Anthem. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, and we look forward to seeing you.
All right. Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too, Mick.
All right.